Senator Toews, you have the floor to open the debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, what is the aim of a university? Should our institutions of higher education be havens for free inquiry and pursuit of truth, or should they be vehicles for indoctrination and activism under a worldview that rejects the very idea of objective truth? Senators, the Frankfurt School long march through the institutions has arrived in Idaho with the goal of suppressing the search for truth using divisive DEI techniques under the banner of Marxist critical theory. Today, we have a chance to stand up against this grave threat to our civilization, not by attempting to oppose a different ideology, but by upholding freedom of inquiry and ceasing to support the DEI administrative apparatus in our taxpayer-funded institutions of higher education. This opportunity comes in the form of Senate Bill 1198, the product of the recommendations of this legislature's interim work group on DEI, as well as long discussions with various stakeholders. So I want to walk you through the bill quickly. Part 1 is definitions. The first section of this bill, up through the middle of page 4, is the definitions. These include an administrative definition of DEI, which excludes anything directed by legal counsel to ensure compliance with applicable court orders or state or federal law. It also defines bias reporting system, DEI office, DEI officer, diversity training, and DEI-related courses. The bill's references to institutions of higher education only apply to public institutions or others that directly receive funding appropriated by the Idaho legislature. Part 2 outlines the DEI-related activities prohibited in taxpayer-funded institutions. Part 2A on page 4, line 32, prohibits group-based preferential treatment or discrimination in admissions, otherwise known as affirmative action, which simply codifies the 2023 Supreme Court rulings in the Students for Fair Admissions cases. Part 2B is similar, prohibiting such discrimination in hiring. Part 2C ensures the institutions that take our tax dollars do not have DEI offices or officers. The principle of good stewardship demands that when the legislature appropriates money to a school, it is directed to the intended purpose, education, rather than a divisive, activism-oriented administrative apparatus. 2D stops diversity trainings. 2E removes bias reporting systems. 2F prevents requiring or otherwise compelling students to take DEI classes. 2G restricts DEI-related incentives for faculty. In Part 3, it allows exceptions for DEI-related degrees that students choose to pursue. Part 4 requires annual reporting to the AG and House and Senate Education Committees certifying compliance. Part 5 outlines enforcement by the AG. The office would first investigate alleged violations, and if a violation is found, would send a detailed written description of the violation and a request for cure. Institutions would have 30 days to cure the violation, and if they refuse, the AG may file suit for a writ of mandamus or injunctive relief, and may also seek penalties up to 2% of operating expenses for the offending division, office, center, or unit. Part 6 is a private cause of action for students or staff to seek injunctive relief, but not monetary damages. Part 7 outlines what the bill does not do. Listen closely, senators. The bill does not limit academic freedom, research, creative works, student organizations that are not using state funds, non-compensated guest speakers at voluntary attendance events, or bona fide sex-based qualifications. It also does not prohibit regulation of non-constitutionally protected speech or measures for Title IX compliance, and does not affect centers or supports for students of recognized Indian tribes. Senators, by voting aye on this legislation, you will be standing for our core Republican values of academic freedom and good stewardship of tax dollars. Identity-based preferential treatment and incentives, administrative centers focused on imposing a concept of social justice that seeks to divide Americans into opposing identity groups, DEI indoctrination seminars, mandatory DEI classes in students' academic tracks, and Marxist biased reporting systems that create an atmosphere of fear actually chill freedom of speech and have no place receiving government support. I look forward to seeing our institutions of higher education fully focused on the important and excellent work that they do in equipping our students to think critically, seek truth, and receive the preparation necessary to succeed in their future careers. I ask for your aye vote today in support of this vision. Debate is open.